Today I want to repeat the experiment which I did yesterday, and the experiment was it was not yesterday, it was a couple of days ago, and the experiment was to try to customize an uncommon magic item like I did before with the Staff of the Dragons. Today I'm going to do this with the Wand of Web, another uncommon magic item which you can find on the basic rule. And how I'm going to personalize it? I'm going to use the tables which are available on the Dungeon Master's Guide. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll on those 4 tables, which are in the, I think it is chapter 7 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, and we will try to roll some unique properties for this object, which will help us in creating some lore and some history for this object, so that instead of being an off-the-shelf magic item, it will be something unique which we can use in our own campaign. The first table on which we are going to roll is the table which establishes who actually created this magic object. And in this case, it is a d20, and I'm going to roll the first d20. And interesting, the result is a gnome. So, let me write this down. So what this means is that the item is crafted to appear ordinary and it might look worn. It could also incorporate gears and mechanical components, even if these aren't essential to the item's function, which seems quite interesting. The next thing which we are going to roll is a detail from the history of this object, and in this case it is a d8, and I roll a 4, and 4 means that the object was an ornament. The item was created to honor a special occasion. It has gemstones, gold or platinum inlay, and gold or silver filigrane adorn its surface. Okay, now let's see some minor properties. Since I don't want to do objects which are closer to what I already did, if I run a property which I already ran, in this case I'm going to reroll. So let's see what can I have here. And in this case it is 1. 1 means that it is a beacon. What does this mean? The bearer can use a bonus action to cause the item to shed light in 10-foot radius and deal light for an additional 10 feet, or to extinguish the light. That's interesting. That's interesting. And last but not least, a d12 for a quirk. And it is 1. And it is the fact that it is blissful. So while in possession of the item, the bearer feels fortunate and optimistic about the future, about what the future holds. Butterflies and other harmless creatures might frolic in the item's presence. Okay, so as usual, when you try to roll this kind of things, for some reason, the things start to resonate one another. So for the first thing, the first thing is that the object was either crafted by gnomes, or it was in any case intended to be used by gnomes. Okay, it is a wand of web. So most probably it will be have been created or used by gnomes for their own protection, being small and living underground. The ability to cast the web spell from a wand could be extremely useful for them. Even though this is but we then have the fact that this was meant to be both an ornament and it was also meant to shed light. So, first of all, what can we try to say about this object. It was meant to be, first let's try to generate a possible name for the creator of this object. Let's see. Let me take the fantasy name generator and let's try to generate a name for these gnome names. Okay. Smilvec. Okay, Smilvec could be the creator of the object. Smilvec created this wand to honor a special occasion as a celebration for the victory of the underground city. Okay, so this is another idea which about which I often reason. Magic objects are supposed to be costly to craft. They require money and they require time to be crafted. So usually someone has to sponsor their creation. It is not someone which will. It is not an endeavor on which we will embark alone. In this case, since this object has been created as a way to celebrate something, it could be the fact that it was a victory. Now, being a wand of web, what kind it could be the fact that it was a victory against maybe an invasion of actual great spiders, giant spiders. After all, people like gnomes could very well be very afraid from this kind of creatures. So let's say that we have a city, the council city of let's generate a name for this. So let me find a city name. Fantasy city generator. Where it is? Fantasy name generator of cities. Okay, city names. Here it is. The city of. Okay, the city of Barc, the council city of Barc. I feel that gnomes would have councils. So the council city of Barc commissioned this object to Smilvec as a way to celebrate victory of Barc over an invasion of what? Let me see if I can actually show you this thing. I don't see why not. Let me see. Window capture. Office. Okay, let me see. Yes. This one could be exactly what I wanted to share. Now let's just put me in nope. You know what? We can leave it as it is. Okay, so I think that you should be able now to see my LibreOffice. So you can see what I'm actually writing. So we said so far that Smilvec created this wand as a celebration for the victory of the underground. The council city of Barc commissioned this object to Smilvec as a way to celebrate the victory of the city of Barc against the invasion of the great spiders. Of I don't know, 5 GC Gnome Calendar. Okay. In Smilvec, while the initial commission was only for a wand of web, show the mass, the Smilvec decided that it was too simple as an assignment, and decided to take the things into his own hands. So since this was meant to be a celebration, Smilvec decided that the wand should be bright as a torch. Okay, it was to be bright as a torch. Yeah, the one should be able to shed light. Also, the let's say the innate optimism, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, but the incurable. Also, the incurable optimism of Smilvec crept into this creation, causing all kind of butterflies. Manifesting both into the beer of the wand itself, who will have a hard time not seeing the good in any situation, and also in the environment where the bear is. Butterflies flying around him at all the time. Okay, now I'm thinking if I don't think that a wonder web would be a reasonable object to celebrate something against spiders. I would say, since these are gnomes, one usual enemy of gnomes are goblins. So I would say the invasion of the goblins, the great invasion. The goblins. And let's generate another name for a goblin for Roddist. Roddist. The with such a spell with a web spell. Okay. 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 So this is more or less the our idea at this point. So we have started with what was Wand of the Web, which is essentially a magic wand which allows you to cast the web spell. We have decided that it was created by goblins, sorry, by gnomes, and now we are saying that it was created to celebrate a victory, a great victory against goblins, where the web spell was specifically useful. And in order to celebrate these, in order to celebrate this, they decided to create a wand which would enable the bearer to cast this precious spell. Since this is a celebration, this is an object which is meant to be an ornament or a celebration, I could think that this is okay. I would say I would say that the wand is not usually found into adventures, but it's usually kept into the city of Barc itself, and it is only shown during the anniversaries of these great battles. The wand itself is kept into the treasury of the Barc, the city council, city of the city council of Barc, city council, not council city. The wand itself is kept into the treasure of the city council of Barc, and it is usually brought out to celebrate on anniversary of the Great Invasion. Okay. I would say that this is more than enough, and even though again we didn't add very much to this wand, no, even though we didn't add very much to this wand, of course this could be quite interesting. Now, for why this would be interesting for me, because now that I've written so many things about it, I can start to think other things about it. So, first of all, it's possible. What happens if someone steals this wand? Of course, these gnomes will want to get it back because it is sort of an object which has a powerful meaning for them, so they want to have it back. Maybe the adventurers could find it in the hands of those who stole it, and they don't know what has happened, and so they just keep it. Let's add something about the description of this object, because we concentrated very much on the history, not very much on the or not. Now let's add something. The wand appears to be done of metal, and it activates a number of gears on its start to move until the actual spell is cast. It's unclear if the gears have any real function, but what's the name? But and the benefit always be paid on the wand, the precious stones. Okay, even though the description said that it was meant to be an ornament, so it should have precious stones on it, I would say that in this way it's more than enough. Okay, I would stop here. Of course, I've done this already for the stuff of the Python, which you should find which you can check here, and you can try to see if that's okay with you.